Hello, my name is Samantha Meyer. I am an educational technician at Denali CDC. I have been working there for a little over 8 years and counting. What educational technician is just a fancy word for lead in a classroom. I am currently a lead in a preschool classroom that has children's ages 3 to 5. I've been working there for a little over 7 of my 8.5 years. My views on ECE workers is that we have the knowledge and the tools to educate and develop children's interests, wants, needs. I feel that the public has a split view on ECE workers. I feel like some think the job is really hard and they could never do it, and that we're doing, a fantastic job, while others feel like it's just babysitting and I get to play with kids all day and all I do is play with Play-Doh and, that's it. There is no anything else when it comes to the job. So there's really just that split decision when it comes to people who don't work in childcare. My career, my backstory is I've always wanted to be a teacher. Ever since I was little. My grandma was a kindergarten teacher, and I always wanted to be a teacher. But when I left high school, I didn't want to go to school right away. And then when I finally did want to go to school and start my career, I did not have the money for it. So my parents suggested that I get a job on base and save up money because my dad was military. And it just so happens that the childcare facility was hiring. So I was like, oh, that's in my field of work. That's great. So I got a job there and I have loved it ever since. And, I got a job as an assistant. Now I've worked my way up as a lead in the classroom and I hope to continue going. One challenge that I have faced though, being a lead in my classroom, is bias when it comes to children I'm getting from the toddler rooms. So children will move up when they become of age in the different rooms, and when a child turns 3, they move from toddlers to preschool. And caregivers talk, and some toddler caregivers will be like, oh, like this kid is so bad, he'll throw chairs, he'll climb on furniture, he has behavior issues, like I'm so glad he's leaving my room, I feel so bad for you because you're getting him. This one little boy, like when I was like, oh, he's coming to my room, okay. And then, when he came to my room, eventually, he began listening better. We formed that bond. We learned that he had a speech delay and a social emotional development delay. And so, I advocated with his parents and we got him the assistance he needed where he went to a school separate from the program, and came back and forth. But, if I didn't have that bias of him at first, he might have been able to get those services quicker because I would have known that something was needed and not just, he's here today, So, and I feel like that's something that I've overcome because now I train my staff who even currently, they were like, oh, we're getting this one kid. I was like, nope, clean slate. We don't know anything about this kid. He might not act that way in our class. He needs a fair shot. He gets a fair shot. And so that's now what I train my staff. New kid, new slate. We need to learn about him and what he does and what he likes and dislikes and all of that. There is no when it comes to children in our room. Mentoring, professionalism with mentoring. I feel like I've had a lot of experience with this because working in the military installation, there's a lot of come and go because people are constantly PCSing with their military spouse. So I've worked with all kinds of different people, and some people are a little bit harder to work with, and I've trained with them, and at the end of the day, you just got to remember the job is hard, and we all have feelings, and even if someone's difficult to work with, they're still human. So you have to stay professional with them, and we are mentors for the children. We're the models for the children in the classroom. So that professionalism is very much needed when coming to mentoring. When having this job, you have to reflect on it a lot. And one thing that I've learned through reflection is that when I'm training someone, that I need to ask if they understand what I'm trying to get across. I've learned that some people, I will explain how to do something to them and then they won't do it how I felt I explained it. So now what I do is I'll, explain how to do something like observations or something as simple as cleaning a shelf and how I like it done in my room. And I'll be like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, do I need to understand it or explain it differently? Because in the past, I've had others not fully understand me, and I just want to make sure that you're understanding me, just in that respectful and professional way. So, yeah, everything gets done that needs to get done. And professionalism with families I've had a lot of things happen over the years with families, some friends, some who don't like me very much. This one instance, a parent did not like me because of who I was friends with. They didn't like my friend. And so because of this, the parent kept complaining about me to my director. And, one of the stories is that she always did her daughter's hair. It was always super nice, pulled back, bows, everything. And she went to my director and said, she's doing other kids' hair in the classroom. She has favorites because she doesn't do my daughter's hair. And, some parents don't have time to do their kids' hair in the morning. So if they ask me, I'd be like, yeah, I can throw it up for you. So then I didn't want to be disrespectful by taking down her work that she did and redoing it some way else. So that didn't really make sense to me or my director, but going forth, I didn't ever do her daughter's hair, but I stopped doing other kids' hair as much while her daughter was in the room. But my professionalism is I never treated the parents and the family any different from, the day they started complaining to the day they left. I treated them like every other family. Honestly, I feel like they never knew that I knew that they were complaining, even though I did. I was trained, I was talked to, I was retrained. We came up with solutions on how to move forward from the situation, but you would have never have known with how I treated them, that I was never like, ugh, or I would never like, hey, like, oh my God, they're coming, let me hide so they don't have something to complain about me about. Advocating for children is something that I've done very recently. I felt like this child needed speech therapy, so I went up to Dad and I said, hey, have you ever thought about getting her assessed for speech? And he was like, oh my God, yes, like I thought of that, but I really wanted to wait for your opinion because, you're the professional. And I gave him all the things to set up and, the steps to take. And I really hope that we will end up getting her the resources she needs to advance in her speech development, not just what I can do at the center, but other assistants. And my goals is to finish school, which I will be doing here in a few months, hopefully. Maybe eventually go for my master's with business, because on base you have to have business classes to become a director. And then my long-term goal is to move up the ranks and eventually become a director of a center. And then who knows, maybe I might like being a director so much I want to move up to being a program director, which is the director over all of the centers, because we have 4 to 5 centers on our base and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So those are my goals for, my foreseeable future. Thank you.